What is going on, YouTube? Your favorite trader is back. So in today's video, we're going to be recapping the day here and going over the trade that we took. Pretty much a trade and market recap here. But first off, I just want to show you these accounts that I'm working on here. 5 top set funded accounts. I'm up about 26K on these accounts in total profit. I've already taken out 2 payouts. I'm working on my 3rd one. So if we go down to the calendar here, you'll see that I haven't took a loss for January yet. So this is the P&L calendar here on JTn&x for these 5 accounts. So I've not took a loss yet. And I know some of these have like more than 2 or 3 or 4 trades. Most of them that have like 9 trades or more than like 4 trades, I am testing out some new ideas, some new models, but with micro contracts. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I actually want to use like a funded account to test these ideas out in the live markets rather than me like demo testing them or back testing. I'd rather just do them with an actual funded account. So that way, if I am right, I make money. If I'm not, I barely lose any money. So no biggie. But yeah, these are the accounts that I have right here. Pretty proud of it. I'm not sure why they haven't moved me to live yet, but I'm working on my 3rd payout. So if I can hit another 2 $200 days, that'll be my 3rd payout for 2025. And that would put me at about, so with the 10% split, I think it's like 67K or something like that for 2025. So absolutely insane day. So yeah, let's go over the recap here. I'm going to go live with my Discord here in a little bit and we can show you guys what we took and I'll go over my analysis and all that good stuff. But show me another trading mentor that's showing you results like this. Come on, dude. I walk the walk, talk the talk, baby. Oh yeah, and if you guys want to join the Discord before I end up closing it sometime this month, the link for the Discord will be down in the description. The prices are going up and I'm also going to be closing the Discord too, at least the monthly subscription. I'm going to be closing that out. So if you guys want to join for a free trial, literally risk free, if you guys don't like the service, if you guys don't like how I live trade within the Discord, you guys can cancel before you get charged. So if you guys want to join that, link will be in the description. I do these call outs. Majority of these trades were on live. So yeah, there's no cap in my wrap, baby. But yeah, let's get it. Let's go to the recap. Let's go live with the Discord and recap today's price action. So see you guys there. Welcome into the recap, everybody. Hopefully everybody came out green today. You should have came out green today. I was red, but it's 1 for me not canceling a limit. Oh shit, what happened? Oh, actually, I think I read the chat with what happened with you. You forgot to cancel a limit on your MFF account, right? Fuck. I forgot to TP and it triggered to sell. Fuck. Oh man. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that, dude. It happens. It's all good. You'll get it back, bro. All right, don't even sweat it. All right, guys, well, welcome into the recap. Seems like everybody did well today. Seems like most of you are green. Somebody's red here, Dresser. If you want to, by the way, if anybody's red here or if anybody missed a trade or if anybody has questions, go ahead and submit the trades that you take. Like if you're red and you want me to review it on stream, go ahead and submit it in the chat and we'll go over it. So whoever's red or whatever, you know, just submit your trades. Don't be embarrassed about it. And we can review it on stream for everybody's studies. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the recap here. So, all right, so overnight session, 3 in the morning, we had a classic London smart money reversal. Usually when we get this type of profile in the market, it means that it's going to be a classic or a classic buy day or a classic sell day. So 3 in the morning here on ES and NQ respected this 1 hour fair value gap. So you can see how London manipulated under the Asia session low. 3 a.m. respected this 1 hour bullish fair value gap, and we ended up pushing higher going into the New York session. So going here at 8:30, we wait for CPI to see what it wants to do. It obviously pushes up. Now zooming into the lower time frames, we look at the 15-minute, and we have a ginormous fair value gap. All right. So usually what we want to do when we have very, very big fair value gaps like this is we want to mark out the quadrants in that fair value gap. So that way we can try and find a spot to find our flow state model, right? Our change in delivery on the 1 minute out of this 15-minute POI. Because we don't know how much this price action is going to dig into this fair value gap going into 9:30. We don't know how much is going to dig into it, right? So we want to mark out these upper quadrants, these lower quadrants in equilibrium, right? So that's exactly what I did here. And then we get a possible CRT right here on the 15-minute time frame. We end up just sliding lower a little bit. Now, if I go to the 1 minute time frame, this is where we executed today. So again, keep in mind this Fibonacci right here is that 15-minute fair value gap. We end up going into like a little bearish trend here on the 1 minute time frame. And then here, let me go ahead and make NQ a little bit bigger. So we go into this bearish trend here into that 15-minute FVG. We tap the 15-minute FVG, but we don't get any sort of change in delivery on the 1 minute. We don't literally do nothing. We do nothing. We just tap the fair value gap and we just accumulate in it, right? So we're looking for a 1 minute change in the state of delivery out of the 15-minute FVG. Okay. So on the 1 minute here at 9:30, we do get a body closure above the opening of 9:30's candle, right? The opening price of 9:30's candle. So we get a closure there. But the only thing here is we get no displacement above this high. We're wicking. We refuse to close a body above this high here. Okay. We don't get any closures above this high. We're just wicking, right? While respecting a 5-minute bearish fair value gap here. So we did get a change in delivery here on the 5 minute, which sent price lower into the 5-minute fair value gap and the 15-minute fair value gap. But on the 1 minute, right there at 9:30, 9:32, 9:33, 9:34, we were getting wicks. We weren't getting any closures. We weren't getting any speed. We weren't getting any eagerness to push up and tell us that the market wants to push higher yet, right? So that's why I wanted to wait the first, 15, 30 minutes. That was just like standard protocol with, especially when news forms a really big fair value gaps like this. So what I did was mark out the upper quadrant of that fair value gap, which was the 0.25 here. As you can see, we didn't hit that here at 9:30. We pushed up, we swept liquidity, and we came down one more time, one drive lower. So that way, anybody that went long up here expecting a breakout to the upside got absolutely destroyed with this move down here. All right, we manipulate lower one more time, tapping into this higher quadrant right here on the fair value gap. And then, I mean, what's the difference right here, guys? What's the difference between here and here? What's the difference right there? It's pretty night and day right here, right? What is the difference here? Can anybody in chat tell me? What is the difference between this little area of price action that tapped into the 15-minute fair value gap and then this area of price action right here? Clean displacement, right? The imbalances, right? The imbalance is forming, the speed, the displacement that we're getting. Once we tap into what? The upper quadrant of that 15-minute fair value gap. Because again, we don't know how much it's going to dig into that 15-minute fair value gap. We don't know because it's so big. That's what she said. No pun intended, but because it's so big, right? Cheesy, corny joke, excuse me. Anyways, so we mark out the quadrant up here. And we get a very clean reaction, very clean displacement, big imbalances being formed, right? So we get a change in state of delivery here. And this is when I go on live. I tell you guys in chat, I'm long, right? I'm long right here. So long once it taps the 1 minute fair value gap, once we get the confirmation that we're changing delivery out of this 15-minute fair value gap. Now our first TP or our first break-even spot would be the 848 high right here. So we get a sweep of that high here. And then we have this little fair value gap here. Why is this fair value gap important? Because it broke the high, right? It formed after the high was broken. So you can see price came down and it disrespected this fair value gap, but immediately reclaimed it. At the same time down here, we had a SMT divergence with ES. ES was tapping into a 5-minute fair value gap during this time right here. So we ended up pushing, reclaiming this fair value gap, and then we ended up TPing all the way up here at this high, which was an external 1-hour high right there. And after that, I mean, price action has been, it's been pretty lackluster. I'm not going to lie. It's been pretty shit. 15-minute, let's see. So we had a 15-minute fair value gap here. This is my first time kind of just looking at price now. 15-minute fair value gap here that swept out this external high there. We did not respect it, obviously. And if we're looking at the displacement range here from this high to this, or from this low to this high, excuse me, if any of you guys were trying to buy after this got disrespected in this little 15-minute fair value gap, you were longing in a premium. All right, let me go ahead and delete this so it doesn't get confusing. So if you guys were trying to long this right here in this fair value gap after this one got disrespected, you were longing in a premium of this little displacement range right here on the 15-minute chart. All right, so let's go to the 1 minute. Because I know somebody asked me why wasn't the 1045, 1115 area, why didn't these buys work? And that's exactly why, because we were in a premium of this little displacement range here from the 15-minute chart. Right, so 15-minute fair value gap gets disrespected up here. So we tap into the second one here. Do we get any change in delivery here? We don't. So there's no reason for you to go long. The change in delivery would have happened right here. And you can see how price respects that opening price here of this first down close candle in the series of down close candles that taps into the POI or sweeps liquidity. right? It respects the opening price there. 1, 2, down into discount. And it's no coincidence that price starts reversing in a discounted PD array or discounted area of this little range right here. So what do we do down here? Well, we come down and we tap a what? A discounted PD array, right? An order block. 11:45, soups the previous 15-minute candles low. We get a 15-minute CRT right here, right? Soup, hit the OB, go to the 1 minute, find your change in delivery on the 1 minute off of this 15-minute order block. You get it right there. Boom. You would enter right here. And then you can see how the delivery changes and it starts respecting all these bullish PD arrays, right? Boom. Change in delivery, respect, push up, back down to equilibrium of this little displacement range now in the 1 minute. Uses this OB to continue. It's very clean, actually. I'm not going to lie. Like, now that I'm looking at it right here, it's super clean. Discounted order block, discounted breaker block, taps it, pushes higher. Again, still respecting all these bullish PD arrays. There's no reason for you to short. It also disrespected this bearish fair value gap here on the 15-minute. So once we closed above it, it just kept going higher. And it came all the way up to sweep the morning high. And then this other high that we were looking at in the morning, which was this high right there. It just swept that. It just swept that out right there. But I still think this moves higher here going into closing. It's still respecting this 5 minute here. And this is the 5 minute that swept this high. So I think it still respects it and it tags out this high right here at 21,448.25. You guys can see if I'm right or wrong after I get off of here. But yeah, I think this keeps going higher. Let's see. My bad that the live trading was full this morning, guys. I didn't realize that my server was not boosted to level 3, but it's all good now. 300 plus people can join now. So my bad if you guys had trouble joining this morning. I'm so sorry. I realized that a little too late. I was boosting it while we were live, but yeah. All right. So Dresser, he's the one that lost. Let's go ahead and review your trade here, bro. Let's go ahead and see. So he said, missed the morning longs, took the short around 11:10 after disrespecting the 15-minute bull FEG. ES tapped the 15-minute bear FEG. Excuse me. Bad stop loss displacement, I guess. Okay, so I see what you're trying to do. So you got to change in delivery here on the 1 minute. Yeah, honestly, bro, I would have placed my stop above the high. Anytime you're taking a CISD, that swing point, place your stop there, bro. All right, always place your stop there. Bet full port calls right now. No, that's crazy. Yeah, I still think this moves higher up to this buy side here off this 5 minute. Thoughts on trade management. Let's see. Iyasu. Thoughts on trade management. Scaled half at the 1 minute low. Got stopped at break even with the rest. Should I have exited once we started disrespecting bearish PD arrays instead of letting it go back to break even? Okay, so you got a CISD here on the 5 minute. You entered there. You took it off at the 1 minute low. Yeah, bro. So on the 15, again, on the 15 minute, we tapped so on the 5 minute, you can't see it, but on the 15, it was very, very clean. So if you marked out your displacement range, this low to this high, we were in discount, we were in this fair value gap, and we hit this order block, and then we started getting a potential CRT here. And on the 1 minute, I mean, this is probably where I would have exited if I were you, bro, is once we got this change in delivery here, once we got the displacement back up right here, I probably would have exited right there or right around here. Once this 15 minute got disrespected, I probably would have took it all off right there. The CISD is right here, bro. Breaker, CISD. There you go. You enter right there. If you miss it, you enter on the fair value gap that forms. No, the other one, it was right here. So two up close candles, excuse me. Close below it and then move lower. I know there was a 1 hour old fair value gap there from Friday, I believe. So that was valid. That was pretty valid. Taximon. Okay, let's see Taximon. Took this 1 minute unicorn. I really dislike 60-point stop losses. Is there a better place to put stop loss on these big breakers? So when you get in on a trade like this, Taximon, what you can do is place it under the first fair value or the last fair value gap that forms. So in this example here, you see how it tapped. This is where I got in, right? So you would want to place your stop below this fair value gap's low, or this candle that formed that last fair value gap here, because this breaker here, if we're just looking at this candle, it shouldn't get down to the second one. If it does, then we're most likely, we might go for this low right here. All right, it should just come back to this fair value gap. It should use this last fair value gap that was formed right here to go higher. It shouldn't get back down into here. The breaker should hold it, because we already have overlap PD arrays. Why would it go down to this second one? There's no reason to. This should be a breakaway gap right here. Does that make sense? So you could move that stop all the way up to here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Do you usually use the 15 or 5 minute for PD arrays? For intraday price action, yes. It's usually the best to use. So you can see price, it's starting to push up to that 44825 level. All right, could you go over, let's see, Dom, could you go over, let me see. My bad, bro, your thing got lost here. All right, let me see. Okay, Dom, wanted this, but did not get triggered. I knew the FEG was probably going to hold, but wanted to be precise and got left out. Well, that was the problem there, is because sometimes if you're a little too precise, you might miss it. So you're saying I struggle with being a little too precise, need to work on that, rather be in than be left out. Okay, so if you struggle with this type of problem where you want to be extremely precise, it's not a bad thing, but you might get left out sometimes. So if you struggle with this, just think about it like this. If you were to get in somewhere right here, let's just ignore this big green candle, right? If you were to get in somewhere in these candles, or in this candle that tapped it before it closed, how many points realistically right here, if you had your stop right there, I mean, even if it were to come down a bit more, could you withstand that, right? Could you withstand 5, 10, maybe 12 points? What was it here? Hold on, let's see. What was this right here? It was, so if you would have got in, let's say you got in where I got in, right here, right? So if this would have came down a little more, I mean, it's 16 points. Could you withstand that with like one contract? Or whatever your usual size is? I'm pretty sure you can, right? 5 micro, so you can withstand it. So why not enter here and be cool with a potential, maybe a little bit of a drawdown where you can possibly even add on your original area. This is 10 points, bro. So if you got in anywhere right here, think of it like this, right? You got to switch that mindset. You could size down too as well, right? So if you wanted to get in and you want your full position to be right here, you could start a starter position right here and then place your limit for the rest of your position right here so you could be fully in. You could do one of those two things, either get in and withstand a little bit of drawdown if it's in this close of a proximity to each other, or just start a starter position and place the rest of your buy limits down here where it's at, right? So if you know, because a lot of these patterns always like repeat, right? A lot of these signatures always repeat. So sometimes you will get left like that. And if you feel, or if you've seen this before and you feel like you're going to get left out, we'll just start a starter position. So that way you're in some of the move, right? Even if you don't get tapped for your full position, well, at least you got something out of it, right? Gotcha. Okay. All right. Taximon said, really enjoy London session 1 minute unicorns. Gotcha. Okay. LEL. I aimed for EQ of the 30-minute CRT. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So this necessarily wasn't a bad trade. But again, when we have these big ass fair value gaps, right? I know I haven't gone over this concept, I guess, with you guys. It's something that I kind of just use whenever we have it. But when we have really big fair value gaps like that, just edit your Fibonacci to where you can look at these quadrants, right? The 0.25, the 0.75. So when you have really big fair value gaps like this, always mark out your little quadrants like that, right? 0.25, 0.75. So that way you have 4 areas of a potential reversal if it is to continue bullish. Because again, we don't know how much it's going to dig into it. So when we have big imbalances, it's a little tricky. But this is a good way to combat that. Is look at these quadrants, right? And just for the record, I'm going to be uploading this recap to YouTube, but just for the record, you're probably going to see other influencers use this sort of same trick. I promise you guys, you probably will. I don't want to like stroke my ego, but like, dude, I don't want to stroke my ego, but you guys are going to see some others start doing that. And ICT, by the way, ICT, he's been doing it. So that's where I got that, this from, but haven't seen anybody else do it. So for the record, he said stroke that shit, cuzzo. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be the recap, guys. It was about a 20-minute recap. Nothing crazy. You could see this little live tape read call out things actually working out. 5-minute fair value gap swept out that high. We're going for this next high. I think the macro actually could deliver it up to this 4-hour fair value gap right here. So that is going to be this high right here. Yeah, that 4-hour FVG I think is a draw for the last like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, this is working right now. What was this? About 24 points. Nothing crazy. Outlook for tomorrow. All right, let me stop the recording here because I am going to upload this to YouTube and I can give you guys an outlook. So that was the recap, trade recap for the day, Wednesday, January 15th. But yeah, let me go ahead and stop the recording here. Appreciate everybody pulling up, and yeah.